Hello everyone, Lord Dark A4 here, and welcome back to Satisfactory. In the previous episode, we went ahead and we built ourselves a proper factory, instead of just having them sprawled out all across the ground. And as you can see, I also went ahead and did a little bit of upgrading. Or, not upgrading, decorating. As you can see in the background, I actually put up the FICSMAS tree, and I put in some windows and some concrete pillars dotted around. I also made it so that our conveyor belt line looked as though it was being supported. And I also made it that way we can actually access the awesome sink. And so you can see we have 6 coupons. It's been running for a little while now, just slowly gathering things up. Yeah. So I didn't change too much inside. I was having a problem with this line here. For some reason it wasn't actually sending out 60 plates per minute, even though it should have been. So I just ended up merging them all together, and it's working now. I also went through and recolored all the machines, just to break up the orange a little bit. I haven't decided on an actual color scheme. Just come in here. You can see that this is moved. I haven't finished cleaning it up yet, but our awesome sink is now on this side, so that we can actually access it whenever we need to. If I can just get up here. The assemblers are here, slowly making us plenty of rotors and reinforced plates. And if I actually come out of here... Oh, why am I stuck? There we go. So, come out here, and it's been a little while because I spent a lot of time trying to actually come up with a somewhat decent design for all this. So, all the iron plates and rods are filled. The rotors are about 3/4 full. The reinforced plates are just about completely full, and the screws should also be pretty much full. As you can see, gave us a little area just to put the FICSMAS tree. It was initially meant to be for the space elevator. I wanted to try and get everything a bit closer together. However, I thought it'd be a nice touch to have the FICSMAS tree here for a little while. And speaking of FICSMAS, on the right hand side there is the, the goals for this episode. First off, I'm going to check out the advent calendar. Maybe do a bit of research on FICSMAS. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to do a lot with FICSMAS in this series or not. I'll figure that out pretty soon. But the main goal is to build a modular frame factory. And I didn't mark it on the map, but it's actually right around here. And I've already gone over there and I've placed in foundations and miners just to save us a bit of time in the episode. Because it's going to be a big factory. There's going to be lots of machines, lots of logistics. It's going to take a bit of time. But what I want to do first, I kind of made a temporary solution to our FICSMAS here. As you can see, I have the FICSMAS skin on the conveyor belts, just for the fun of it. Of course. And I have this constructor here making tree branches. And these two here will be set up to make candy canes and bows once we unlock those. Of course, to unlock those, you need to... Oh, I didn't put that in the right spot. To unlock the candy canes and the bows, you need to actually do a bit of research. And in order to do that, you need a little bit of everything. So I actually let this sit for a little while. Spent about a few hours just gathering presents. Just to get some stuff done. So going to the FICSMAS event, we're going to unlock the Candy Cane Basher. And with that unlocked, I can now turn on this secondary constructor to make candy canes. So scroll down. Let's start making candy canes. It'll take a little while, but it's fine. At the very least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be at least showing you all to the first ornament here. Of course, not too sure how that's going to go. If I'm going to continue showing you guys the FICSMAS stuff, or if I'll do it as like a special episode for Christmas or just holidays. Haven't fully decided. I think that was about it for this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come here. It is the 6th of December as of recording. So 6 is there. And we get 20 candy canes. Which means we can come here to the MAM and unlock bows. So that just means all that's left is to actually get some candy canes and some bows. And then we'll be able to upgrade the FICSMAS tree. Let's just go like so. We're going to set this one here to be the bow. It takes a little while for these to make them, which is unfortunate. But it's not a super big deal. With that aside, let's move on. I'm going to run over to where I plan on putting our modular frame factory. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so here we are at the modular frame site. And as you can see, there are 8 iron nodes. So they're all impure, but all 8 of these nodes here are all being used in this factory. I don't know how many it's going to produce at the moment. I decided that this time I'm going to go in blind. However, at the same time, I will still be trying to make a diagram so that way if you guys want to use this, you can. Alright, so future dark here, after I went through and made us a kind of a diagram. Of course, as you can see in the background, I'm recording this after the factory's already built, and I spent some time after the episode doing a tiny bit of decorating, although it's probably not that noticeable. Alright, so going from the top, we have 4 miners, each going to their own smelter, and those smelters are then feeding a constructor, each of them making iron plates. Now going down to the next line below that, we have a miner going to a smelter. That smelter is then splitting it into 2 lines of 15, one going into a constructor at about 50%, making more plates. The other 15 is going to go into another constructor to make rods, which will then follow through into our lines to make screws. Of course, the 6th smelter will be split into 2 lines to make more rods, which will then be making even more screws. Then the final one, for the final 2 smelters, will just be making rods. Now, moving further to the right, there's 3 assemblers, each of them making reinforced iron plates, and each of them require, each of them require 30 iron plates and 60 screws. So from the iron plate line, it's funneling down, sending down all the iron plates they need, and the screws are doing the same. So we know, because we don't have Mark III lines, what I'll be doing is I'll be having the screws actually separated into 2 separate lines. And then to end things off, we have 5 more assemblers, each making the modular frames. And of course they need, I believe it's 12 rods and 3 reinforced plates. And then they output 2 modular frames per minute. So all together, we'll be making 10 modular frames. Which doesn't sound like a lot. Probably isn't, but it's better than what we got now. So let's get back into the video. So as you can see, I have it set on a 2-meter foundation. Let's just jump down here. It's set on 2 meters. I have it locked to the world grid. It's like if you're kind of just loosely placing it, I have it 1 meter up. But I believe what I actually did when I set this or was putting this together is I went up here. And I started from up here. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to make sure that there was no real opening. Or you couldn't see any ore deposit below these. What these will do is they'll come down, come through. I need to raise it up one higher. I don't like the grass. But I'll figure it out. What I'll do is I'll have them kind of funnel out here. They'll kind of go down. Same with these ones. They'll all kind of come together. And those two over there. And they will be fed into smelters, then the constructors, or multiple constructors, assemblers, and then finally the assemblers to make the actual modular frames. So I think all that leaves is to try and figure out this. Let's just see where this is. So it's all on the world grid. So I have this node almost fully covered. There is, I guess, like 3. It's like a, let's see, a 3x3 or 3x4. If we did it in like a rectangle shape. This here's a 3x4. This one is a 3x5 under the second miner here. They'll kind of drop down here. I'm not too sure what size this is, because there's a good chance that it will be changed. You were very, very loud. You know that? Something I should mention. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of walls, and those are going to mark out the corners of the factory. So logistics-wise, I'm kind of going in blind. But I figured I'd try something to see if I can make it work a little bit easier by actually having the foundations in and a rough idea of what it is I want to do. So, but if you guys want me to change up how I do these big builds, because there's going to be a lot of builds in the future, just let me know. What I'll do first, I was going to clear out some of this foliage that's dotted around. I think I have, no I don't. Well, I'll clear it out, and then after that's done, I will show you all how I'm going to start doing the machines. I should mention on the right hand side, I didn't click off the advent calendar or the FICSMAS research because I plan on doing more research, and this episode may take more than one day to record. So if it does, then I'll cut to when I open up the next advent calendar day. So I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to clear this all up and let's start laying out the conveyor belts to get all of our miners coming in here. So I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so what I just did is I went through and I placed in all the smelters we're going to need. We're going to need a total of 8, 1 for each of the miners. And this row of constructors here is all set to make rods. And what I want to aim for is 10 modular frames, which I think works out to 7 constructors. However, I have 8 here. The reason for that is these last 2 here are actually underclocked to 50% each. And the only reason I did that was because I wanted to just make it look nice. I'm not too worried about taking up too much space. Because, like, say, like, this 3x3 here is actually going to be a dedicated stairwell. So all this stuff here is actually just going to be, like, the basic construction. So rods to screws, I think, right? I think it'd be rods to screws. Yeah. Some of these rods will be saved, some of them will become screws. And then I guess I'll do another row somewhere along here, which will be using these 4 smelters here to make us iron plates. Well, before I do that, I just want to go here. I didn't do it too well, but we did go over the foundation, so we will mark them off. Then, yeah. So I'll get these next few constructors in, and I'll run through how they're all working. As I should mention, I'm being a little lazy with this build because it's so big. All these constructors are using a manifold method. So, I mean, it's just as effective as load balancing. It just takes a little bit less space. Personally, depending on how much energy I have for things, I will do load balancing. But I feel like there's no real reason to do it for all these. So yeah, we'll be back in just a moment here. Alright, so I now have the screw line in and the plate line. See there. Now all that's really left to do is to bring these all together to move up onto the next floor. And I haven't fully decided how it is I want to do that. Ooh. Bringing lag spikes in it might have something to do with all the presents laying around. As you can see over there, I started messing around with how I want these to be done in terms of being connected. So let's just jump down here. So I have these two lines merging into one, and then these two lines merging into one. They all run along. Ooh, another big lag spike. I'm honestly not too sure what's causing this, so if anybody knows, let me know. But I do have a suspicion that it has something to do with all the presents laying around. Because it was fine the other day before FICSMAS started, so. And then these ones, they'll also run in. I'll probably rotate them around, so this one will face that way, this one will face that way. And then they'll all funnel in here in order to be distributed amongst smelters, which will then send them off to make rods, plates, screws. And then once I find a good spot, I'm thinking kind of like this open area, I'm going to have them all kind of run up to the next level where it'll be making iron or reinforced iron plates and the modular frames. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to restart the game here because this is lagging a lot. Like, to a point where it is obscene. So I'll be back in just a moment, finishing off with one massive lag spike once again. Alright, so I just finished the lower level, and I also made us a staircase here, just to get up between, the lag is back. Why? If anyone has any ideas, let me know. I've played with settings, I've restarted the game a few times, restarted my computer, but for some reason it keeps on lagging every now and then. But yeah, so give you guys all a little peek. There's a bean in here again. I guess it wouldn't be one of my builds without a bean in it. Yeah, so I have them all. Damn lag. Why? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I have a few catwalks. I haven't finished them all. I have pretty much all the logistics done down here. They'll run to these 4 conveyor holes, which are sent up. Haven't connected the smelters yet. That'll be soon. And coming up onto the 2nd floor, you have all this space, which is honestly way too much space. Because all we need, if I remember correctly, is 8 assemblers total, 3 of which will be making reinforced plates. For the reinforced plates, it's really simple. I'm just going to take this line here. I might actually align it so that way it goes straight into these inputs on the assembler. Will be plates come in, split up because each assembler only needs is it 30, and there's actually 90 on this line right here. And then screws, it'll be basically one of these line, or this line will go straight to 1, and this other line will be split between 2. The rods will come around somehow and go into the what's it called? The modular frame assemblers. So I'll do all that, and I'll show you all how it looks in the end. Alright, so as you can see, pretty much everything is in the process of warming up here. It's gotta check, making sure everything's connected properly, which it looks to be. So it's just going to take a little bit of time for everything to actually... Oh, why does that not have power? A little bit of time for everything to get warmed up. And the lag is back once again, despite my attempts. Yeah. If we run on up here. Up the stairs. See that I've actually hooked everything up. And of course, I've been using berries to kind of like designate areas that you're supposed to be from where you're not supposed to be. Why does this keep lagging? Seriously. Stop. And as you can see, I have all the assemblers in place. Looks like we're in the process of making some of our first reinforced iron plates, which will come down, and they will eventually fill in all of these, so we'll have ourselves some modular frames. And I also set up a little storage system here with the same setup as at the main base. Center output being overflow, right output being where they put the modular frames. And once these all fill up, then this here will begin, I guess, taking all that access stuff out and putting it in to make us more coupons, which we're currently at 7. So, of course, I didn't want to decorate too much. Not exactly the greatest at it, so I guess let's just take that there, and we will plop it down to get a good view of it. Climb on up. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with that space. I might use it for maybe like truck stops or truck stop in the future. I'm not too sure. Yeah. So going into our to-do list here, we had all the machines placed. I tried to make sure to show you all where they were being placed and whatnot. I ran through the logistics, and that means our modular factory is actually done. And I'm going to cross this off because I was actually able to get it done in one day, which is surprising. Anyways, so while I'm here, the next project I'm thinking is either going to be, or it's going to be between a small reinforced plate and rotor factory or a steel factory with like a combination of a concrete factory. And I'm kind of leaning towards the steel and concrete because we need to progress further into the game, and we can't really progress any further until we do that. Of course, just to finish off today's episode, we'll go back to the hub and do some FICSMAS related research. So I'll see you all in just a moment. Alright, so back at the MAM here. We're going to kick things off by upgrading the giant FICSMAS tree to level 1. And of course it's going to take more than 3 seconds because it wants to freeze on me again. Let's see.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. FICSMAS is coming to town.
I'm still pretty sure that's a threat. Alright, let's just check out this stuff. But we're going to get ourselves a friend. We all need a friend. And I don't have any, so. Of course, for these here, the FICSMAS gift tree actually automates the process of getting gifts for us. But of course, I'm probably not going to go too far into the whole FICSMAS thing in the actual episodes. Depends on what everyone wants. But if you're wondering how you get all these bulbs, I figured I'd show you. We go to the smelter. You have the red ornament and the blue ornament. And they both cost 1 present to make. If we come over here, we need... Where is it? Here it is. We need to get the FICSMAS gift tree, which is 50 of the red ornaments and 50 of the blue ornaments. Alright, so if you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. And of course, as always, leave a comment about any questions or suggestions or anything like that. And I'll see you all in the next one.